The biological orchestration of a morning routine begins with the precise timing of light exposure and its subsequent impact on the suprachiasmatic nucleus, the brain's master clock. When an individual steps into natural sunlight within the first hour of waking, they trigger a series of hormonal cascades that do far more than just wake them up. This exposure suppresses melatonin production while simultaneously setting a timer for its release approximately 16 hours later, ensuring that the stress reduction benefits of the routine actually begin the night before. By aligning the internal circadian rhythm with the external environment, the body reduces the internal friction caused by social jet lag, a state where the body is physically present in the morning but biologically stuck in a sleep state. This misalignment is a significant, often invisible source of chronic stress that manifests as irritability and a lack of mental focus during the early afternoon. Deepening the psychological impact is the concept of dopamine baseline management. In the modern world, many people begin their day with high dopamine activities, such as checking notifications, which provide immediate but cheap neurological rewards. This creates a steep peak and a subsequent crash in dopamine levels, leaving the individual feeling unmotivated and anxious by mid-morning. A structured routine that prioritizes low dopamine tasks, such as manual chores, reading a physical book, or silent contemplation, keeps the baseline steady. This neurological stability means that when a person eventually encounters the high-stakes demands of their job, they possess a greater reserve of willpower and a more resilient mood. They are not starting the day in a state of deficit, desperately seeking the next hit of digital stimulation to mask an underlying sense of unease. The physical sensations of a morning routine also serve as somatic markers of safety for the nervous system. When the body is forced through a rushed, unorganized morning, the brain interprets the rapid heart rate and shallow breathing as evidence of an external threat. This initiates a state of hypervigilance. Conversely, a routine that includes deliberate slow movement, whether through stretching, yoga, or a steady walk, communicates to the amygdala that there is no immediate danger. This physical grounding allows the prefrontal cortex to remain online and dominant. Because the prefrontal cortex is responsible for executive function and emotional regulation, its dominance is essential for navigating the complex social and professional hierarchies of the day without feeling threatened by criticism or overwhelmed by a heavy workload. Furthermore, the nutritional and hydration choices made in the first hour act as a metabolic anchor for the day's emotional stability. Dehydration after a long night of sleep increases the concentration of cortisol in the blood and can mimic the physical symptoms of anxiety, such as a racing heart and lightheadedness. By prioritizing hydration before caffeine, a person prevents the jittery overstimulation that often leads to a midday crash and heightened stress. Similarly, a morning routine that stabilizes blood sugar through protein-rich nutrition prevents the glucose spikes and drops that cause mood swings and hangover. When the body's internal chemistry is balanced, the mind is less likely to interpret a minor workplace inconvenience as a major crisis, simply because the internal signals of distress are kept to a minimum. Lastly, the morning routine establishes a sense of time wealth rather than time scarcity. Stress is frequently the result of feeling that there is not enough time to meet the world's demands. When you reclaim the first hour of the day for yourself, you are making a profound statement of self-worth and autonomy. This creates a psychological buffer against the feeling of being a cog in the machine. Even if the rest of the day belongs to an employer or a family, the morning belongs to the individual. This sense of ownership acts as an emotional shield. It provides a reservoir of inner peace that can be revisited when the external world becomes chaotic. The silence of a successful morning routine becomes a portable sanctuary, a mental state that an individual carries with them into crowded meetings and stressful commutes, allowing them to remain an observer of the chaos rather than a victim of it.